Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan have been invited to King Charles' coronation. It's set for May 6th. It's not clear if they will attend or what role they would play at the coronation. May 6th also is their son Archie's 4th birthday. This will be the first coronation since Queen Elizabeth II was crowned in 1953. It's expected to be more modest and smaller in scale, but still a massive event full of pomp and circumstance, as they say. Alan Allport joins us this morning. He's a professor in the history department at Syracuse University and an expert, in my mind, on all things royal. Great to see you, Alan. How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
Okay, so they got the invite. Do you think they'll go?
I have no idea. I can imagine it's a complicated one, isn't it? It strikes me from their point of view as a little bit of a damned if they do, damned if they don't. If they do go, of course, they'll be accused of soaking up all of the attention, and if they don't go, they'll be accused of snubbing the new king. So I do sympathise with them a little from that point of view. It's probably they can't win either way. I suppose it's always possible that Harry could go by himself, but again, then they may be accused of creating a publicity seeking. I mean, of course, he's not the only one who's problematic. There is the question of the Duke of York, Prince Andrew, the disgraced brother of the king. And now, normally, he, along with his brothers and sister, would presumably stand on the balcony at Buckingham Palace after the coronation, but I find it very hard to believe that Andrew is going to be up there. So Harry and Meghan are, in some ways, are the least of it. There are quite a few skeletons in the closet there that have to be dealt with.
And what role would any of these people play, maybe specifically talking about Harry and Meghan? If they were to go, they'd be visible, but would they have an active role in the coronation, in the ceremony?
I don't think they have a very significant role in the ceremony itself. The ceremony is largely a religious service. Actually, it has very old traditions associated with it. The anointing of the king with holy oil, which actually we won't get to see because he'll be under a covered screen at the time when this is done. But it's mostly about proclaiming the new king to his subjects and being acclaimed, and then there is this presentation of the orb and scepter, as well as the St. Edward's crown, the imperial state crown, which he actually gets placed on his head by the Archbishop of Canterbury. So their inclusion is not actually necessary; they don't have to be there. The question, of course, is that whether their presence or their lack of presence will, detract from what's supposed to be the main event.
Right. How will it look different than what we saw, or I wasn't alive, but what many saw, if they're old enough, Queen Elizabeth in 1953 and that coronation? What do you expect the king will have specific and unique to him?
Well, it's clear that they want to try and have a somewhat pared down ceremony this time. So Queen Elizabeth II's ceremony was, even by royal standards, was unusually large and glamorous. This taking place just a few years after World War II. It was a kind of way of showcasing the nation after many years of hardship. It's a slightly different situation now, of course, in an age of austerity. The government is going to see this as an opportunity to sort of to show off the UK to the world. But on the other hand, they're also going to be sensitive to the idea of overspending on the royals at a time when there are, a lot of austerity measures being introduced. So I believe the invite list will be a lot shorter than it was in 1953, probably about 2,000 guests rather than about 6,000 that Elizabeth had. And I think the procession will also be quite a lot smaller too. Remember, of course, in 1953, Britain was still at the center of a world empire, and so there were representatives from all of the colonial nations. Now, the Commonwealth obviously is to some extent has replaced that. But I think that Charles will probably want to represent a more democratic spirit. And also, of course, the fact that the UK is now a multi-ethnic, multicultural nation. So there will be lots of contributions from different groups, minority groups and other groups within the United Kingdom, as well as the Commonwealth.
Well, May 6th, the day to watch. As always, Alan Allport, thank you. Good to see you.
Very welcome.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.